rebuilding. A catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40 who focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Welcome to episode 194 of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast. Why you should compete. So this comes on the heels of us just finishing our Iron Annihilation 2.0 powerlifting meet. And I know I've spoken about this in the past in an older episode about the importance of competition. And it became very obvious when we're running our meet and we see all the new lifters, all the seasoned lifters, and those lifters that find themselves in between those 2 points, just how important competition is. But what I want to speak about today goes a little bit beyond than competing against others and competing for trophies and competing for records. I mean, that's all part of it. That's important. But it really comes down to competing against ourselves, pushing ourselves, committing ourselves, drawing a line in the sand and working towards something. And that, to me, is the real value of this, right? We've heard it before, the saying is, it's not if you win or lose, it's how you play the game. It really does matter. It really does make a difference. And especially if you're listening to this and you're over 40, over 50, into your 60s, we tend to think that once we reach a certain age, we can't compete anymore. We're not able to compete anymore. We shouldn't compete anymore. And I think that's the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, I think that's the opposite of what we need to think about. We need to actually keep striving for something that causes us to push ourselves. I've often said it when I talk to guys and girls in the gym that are even thinking about competing in powerlifting. I mean, it's one of the vehicles that we use the most, so that's why I'm going to talk about it, but it doesn't matter what sport. But if you're thinking about, you might want to try a competition, do it. And I tell people all the time, the moment you sign up for a competition, things change. The moment you hit send on that registration form, things change. Because all of a sudden, every workout now means something. You're headed towards a goal. You've committed yourself. You've put yourself out there. So you're automatically, I'm telling you, your workouts are going to dial in. They're going to step up. You're going to bring the intensity. You're going to bring the focus. You're going to plan more. Because there's a greater purpose to your working out. When we first started getting in shape and want to get healthier and stronger and fitter, that is the purpose. That is our line in the sand. We need to get healthier. And what usually happens is people start training and they start to see results and they feel pretty good. But over time, our body starts to adapt to the environment that we're putting it through. It's made all the changes it's going to make, so then we start to fall into a stasis, you can call it a plateau, where the amount of effort putting in has resulted in a certain amount of results. And that's where you've leveled off. Now, this is good. If you're fitter now, this is good. If you're stronger now, this is good. But we need to make sure that we keep this up. Because the thing that happens the most to derail people, I find, is that they get bored. They get complacent. I'll go next week. I'm busy today. I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow morning. I'll go tomorrow night. But then something gets in the way. Something gets in the way. Because we get complacent. We fall into a false sense of comfort. So we think we're okay. We've come a long way. And you may have, but it quickly starts to unravel. And it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to slip backwards. It doesn't take long to have detraining. It doesn't take long for you to slip back into some old habits. Because if you create a void, you're going to fill that void. If you're training 4 or 5 times a week, well, you're busy 4 or 5 times a week for 1 to 2 hours, depending on what your workout is and where you go and how far you travel and such. Well, that void is occupied. Take that void away, and we're going to fill it with something else. Now, maybe we are having a crazy week. I'll tell you right now, coming up to this meet, our biggest meet yet, 110 lifters over 2 days. I didn't get any training done last week. I didn't. I had too much going on. Every day was packed with things to do and prepare and get ready. But I also knew that was happening. I also understood that I was foregoing some training. But I also know that today I'm back into training. I'm back into the groove because I miss it. More importantly, because I have a line in the sand, I'm coming up to 6 months from now, hitting my first bodybuilding show, having lost 80 pounds in the last 4.5 months, 5 months. I still have that big commitment to myself, that line in the sand. So it redirects me. It keeps me focused. And I've told everybody. So everybody's reminding me about it. Everyone's asking me about it. Everyone's talking to me about it. So that social contract, as we call it, where you tell everyone what you're about to do or what you want to do or what you're doing, has value, because those people are going to be reminding you, hey, how's that going? Where are you at? So it's front of mind. So going back to the powerlifting, once someone signs up and commits to it, every workout means more. So I think that's a fantastic way to keep the motivation of training going beyond what initially got you started. Hey, you've lost to 20 pounds. Hey, you feel better. Hey, your blood pressure is down. Those are all fantastic reasons, and those are a lot of the reasons why people start working out, especially over 40, right? But after time, you need another reason to keep going. You need another way to keep yourself motivated. So I'm always telling people, find a way to compete. Powerlifting, bodybuilding, martial arts, bowling, tournaments, I don't care. Find a reason to put this activity to good use. Play in a tournament of some sort. Register for something. Register for a 5K run, a 10K run, a half marathon. If you're into running, I don't care what you're into. Find your thing, but then keep the pressure on to keep moving forward so that there's purpose and a reason beyond yourself, beyond how you feel that day, to stay focused and go to the gym when you don't feel like it, to put your shoes on and go for that walk or that run, even if it's a little less than optimal outside. Because there's only so many days left before the race, only so many days left before the competition. What I love about powerlifting is that rookie or seasoned vet, it's the same importance when you're on the platform. You know, the new person, a week or two out, sometimes gets really nervous. The day before, right? Legit, been there. But to this day, after 25 years of competing, I'll tell you right now, morning of, I'm jacked, I'm nervous. Getting in there, getting my way in, getting even into the warm-up, right? I get the butterflies, I get excited, I get nervous, I get pumped. Anxiety builds a bit, but that also makes us feel alive. It's electric. And it's part of that battle. So when you come out on the other side, you've succeeded, you've gotten past all that. That has tremendous value. What I love about powerlifting is that it doesn't matter who you are, the moment you're on a platform, people are cheering for you. When they see you grinding out a rep and you're struggling to finish that rep, whether it's squat, bench, or deadlift, and the whole room starts cheering and yelling, man, what a rush. You don't get that at work. You know, you don't get that happening in your day-to-day life on a regular basis. There's something to be said for that experience. There's something special about powerlifting, the brotherhood, the sisterhood of iron. There's something very special about it. Because those that are competing know what you're going through. Those who have competed understand what you're going through. There's a buzz in the room. There's an electricity in the room. You can't help but be, overwhelmed by it in a positive way and excited. Hell, I wanted the bench yesterday. Because it's exciting. It's fun. It's energy. It's positive. It's a display of strength. Inner strength as well as physical strength. And I love seeing the new lifters come off. I haven't had a new lifter come off the platform for the first time that hasn't come up to me and said, you were right, and I wish I had competed a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Because the feeling they get, the sense of accomplishment, no matter what they do on the platform, how much they lift, it's so powerful. Like I said, it doesn't have to be powerlifting. Find your sport. Find something that you used to compete in. And if you've never competed in something, find something you think you like and try it. Give yourself that opportunity. Some people out there have never competed in anything. They were never athletic. They never tried for stuff. They were too afraid. They were too intimidated. They never had the opportunity. Any of those reasons. Find something. Try something. Give yourself that opportunity to experience that. We walk around and we watch the powerlifting meet happening and you see all that positivity and, there's stress too. Don't get me wrong. It's stressful. People want to do well. People are nervous. Photos are happening everywhere. Seasoned vets are giving advice to the newbies. Friendships are being made. There's a common bond that happens the day of a competition. Some people are students that compete. Some people are rocket scientists. They come from vast differences, vast backgrounds, different backgrounds. I had people coming in from all over Canada. I had people coming in from India. The cultures are different, but you know what? When we get together, it's for the same purpose. There's a commonality. Friendships and bonds are created instantly. Smiles are everywhere. Sweat and smiles. A535 smile throwing throughout. There's just a sense, and you have a sensory overload when you walk into a meet, a powerlifting meet. As soon as you step in, if you've ever been to one before, you recognize the sounds and the smells and the energy. There's something unique about it. If you compete in other sports, they have their own sights and sounds. It does something to the brain. It triggers things. Chemicals are released. It's a high. It's a buzz. And as I always say, there's no better way to spend a Saturday than competing and being at a competition. The next best thing to competing is being at a competition, being part of a competition, being around a competition. That in itself is motivating. It will motivate you to want to do better and go and maybe compete for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, or get back to it, or continue your training for your upcoming meet. There's so much to be had by competing. There's so much benefit to it. And it'll last, and it'll motivate, and it'll make you think about things. You'll learn how you react to competition. Some people rise to the occasion, some people lower at the occasion. Learn that about yourself and then adapt. Know that about yourself. I tell people, you want to get good at competing? Compete on a regular basis. Get good at competing. Gym training is one thing. Competing is another thing. And when you do the two together, both improve and both benefit. It's just something special about competing. Because inherently, inside, we're still instinctively hunters and gatherers, warriors. That still is hardwired in our brain. That is still part of us, man or woman, young or old. It's still there, and we need to tap into that. We need to access that, and we need to funnel that and use it. It's what keeps us alive. It's what keeps us young. It makes us feel accomplished, competent, capable. It goes far beyond trophies. I tell people the most important PRs out there, our personal records out there, are PRs, personal records. It's great to set a record, and if you're at a level that you're able to do that in your state or your country or whatever, that's awesome. But it's about the PRs, the personal records. Lifting more in a competition than you did last time. Some people lift more at a competition than they did in the gym, because they rise to the occasion. They have the adrenaline is flowing through them. They're pumped. They're hyped. Some people, it overwhelms them a bit and they don't lift quite as well. That's okay. Learn that about yourself, and then you figure that out going forward. How do I improve that? How do I pick my numbers so that takes that into consideration? But once you have your first meet in, it's fantastic, because now you have a meet base. So the next time you compete, your goal should be just beat that lift that you did last time. If you bench 200 pounds in this meet, and you pick a meet in 6 months, try to beat that by 10 pounds. Go to 210 pounds. Work on improving yourself. And there's always improvement to be had. Now, sometimes it's long, sometimes it's slow process. But that's the beauty of it, is it becomes a process. It becomes a way of life. It's what's keeping you in the gym. It's what's keeping you training. It's what's making you look at nutrition or supplements or whatever it is. You have another reason to want to work on other aspects to make yourself perform better. And in doing that, you become better. Not just physically, but mentally. When we start to accomplish things and we feel accomplished, our self-confidence improves. Our self-esteem improves. Super valuable. Super, super valuable. It's what's on the inside that really changes. And it's what's on the inside that improves for the best, that makes all the difference in our life and our world around us. So you look at something to compete in as a tool to cultivate that, to nurture that, to improve that. So really, it's almost like a necessity. You need to have something to strive for in your life. You need to have purpose. We talked about that many times. You need purpose. Purpose is what will get you out of bed. Purpose is what will get you through tough times. Purpose is what's going to make you do the small things all the time on a consistent basis. Purpose is going to push you. Purpose is going to beat you up, but purpose is going to get you to the other side. So find things to create a purpose for yourself. And it can become addictive. Once you succeed and you start to see improvement and all these things happen, you're going to want to find something else. You're going to want to do something else. How can I do that again? How can I do that in a different venue in my life? How can I do that spiritually? How can I do that financially? How can I do that emotionally and relationship-wise? Treat areas that you want to improve like a competition. Not a competition as in being better than someone else, but a competition about being better than yourself. Move forward, but find a reason to move forward. If you've never been to a powerlifting competition, when there's one in your neighborhood, go to it. Go and experience what happens on that. When we have new lifters, people that come to the gym and start learning to powerlift, start learning to deadlift, and start learning to bench, and start learning to squat, and I see they're really starting to like it, and they're getting lit up by it. The first thing I'll tell them is not to compete. I'll tell them, make sure you come to one of our meets. And don't just come to one of our meets, come and volunteer. Get behind the scenes a bit. See it, what it looks like from all angles. Be around it. And it's incredible because we see that evolution. We get people that come in, start doing the powerlifting training with our gym, like it. Then I suggest that to them. They come, they either attend or they volunteer. And you know what happens next? They sign up for their next meet. Because they got a chance to see it and feel it and be around it. It's not so intimidating. It's not so, far away. It's not so impossible. They see different people doing lifts at different levels. They realize it's not about people that all bench 600 pounds and squat 1,000 pounds. There's people out there that bench 80 pounds and 100 pounds because it's their first meet. That are deadlifting 125 pounds, 150 pounds because it's their first meet. But I'll tell you right now, you'll never get to a 500-pound deadlift if you don't start competing properly. You'll get there a lot quicker because you're part of a flow, part of a structure, part of a group, part of a sport. There's a lot to be said for competing. If you're listening to this and you're not into powerlifting and bodybuilding, find something. There is something. Find something. Give yourself that benefit. Give yourself that advantage. Give yourself that experience. It's phenomenal. If you haven't done it yet, do it. And if you haven't done it in a long time, do it again. That's the beauty. Most sports now have age divisions. Most sports have different levels. So you can get back to it. There's old-timer hockey. There's old-timer everything. Right? You can find a way to compete in your age group. And if you're doing really well, compete against some of the younger bucks. That's all right too. That's fun. That's motivating. Because for a lot of us out there, guys, we still have it. We just got to go back and get it. It's a great way to keep yourself motivated. It's a great way to keep yourself forward moving. It's a great way to feel better about yourself and improve the strength from within. Guys, that's all I have to say on that for now. Head on over to ironhorsegear.com. As we spoke about, we've evolved the brand. We want to celebrate all things strength. And we want to create iron will forged by iron for everybody, inside and out. And as always, guys, work hard, motherfuckers, and I'll talk to you guys later.